All right, we are live for episode 6 of the Philly Culture Podcast, and we are here in Max's Cheesesteak Northeast. So, yes, we are live as y'all hear the cheesesteak chopping up. I'm about to get my cheesesteak for me and my mom. So, go ahead, introduce yourself, let them know who you are and all the great things you got going on.
My name is Ashley. I need my last name? Oh, my name is Ashley, born and raised North Philly. She hyped me up. I don't be having too much going on. I'm a manager here at Max Cheesesteak Northeast. It was closed for a while. So, trying to bring it back to life one day at a time. And I work at PCOM, school where people go for to be doctors, physician assistants, forensic science, and things like that. I work in student affairs. A lot of y'all know me from having Beyond Beauty Mobile and opening up a hair store, Beyond Beauty Hair Supply. I wrote 3 books, 2 children books, a mental health book. So I get it in.
Yeah, see, you talk about something, I hyped you up. Okay, so the Philly Culture Podcast is here to talk about how growing up in Philly breeds the hustle and the different things we experience growing up. It just gives us that grit and that grind and adversity to keep hustling. Like you just was saying to me about having about 10 streams of income. That's like, what we actually see and then keeping it here in Philly. Like talking about you opening the spot, which we will get into here at Max's Cheesesteak. It's so funny. I was literally thinking about like parties I went to here, and just that corner right there, that little intersection. If you know about Max's Cheesesteak Northeast and Chuck Alibi's area, so we're going to get into all of that. But we like to talk about like growing up in Philly. How was growing up in Philly for you?
Growing up in Philly for me, it was up and down, I'm gonna be honest. But my best times is when I got out and got a chance to club and dance. Everybody know I love to dance. Whether I know how to do the right dance or not. 923 was definitely a staple.
Yes.
Couldn't stay out of there. That was the best non-alcoholic place to turn up for back in the day. Dollar parties. Parties was different back in the day. You pay that dollar and you come out like you spent $50.
Yeah.
You had somebody in the kitchen making chicken wings and stuff. So I enjoyed growing up in Philly far as like partying environment and stuff like that. And it showed me how to hustle and being a survivor. I was born in survival mode, so it showed me how to be a survivor.
Yeah, well, you a different type of survivor now, because Ashley, I don't know her personally, but just watching her and her different hustles, like the book came, then you had the hair store, then the mobile hair store. It was like, and now this, it's just always doing something different, and then also working with the kids, so that's always a touching point for me is anybody that's in the community working with the kids at different ages. But you talked about the dollar parties. Did you go to the Hideaway in North Philly?
I went a couple times.
Yeah,
I not like on some come check it out, but I was a Watch Street fan, 923 Watch Street. That was the place for me to be. Get in front of the mirror, show off my dance moves and stuff. I used to know how to backflip too, but that left my system.
Yeah, see, 923 was definitely wear your Timbs, and I was on the stage Wu-Tanging, and my friend was actually saying the other day, he was like, all these kids did this generation was kind of slow down our dances, but basically they really doing the same thing we do. So that's why I hate when they knock the hustle of like the young kids dancing all the time, because that's what we did back in the day. Like
the fact that we talking about young kids and back in the day is telling our ages. Lord, this is telling our ages.
Listen, but did you make it to the 923 reunion?
No, I
so
didn't.
that was the inspiration behind the podcast.
Okay.
So my friend, I don't know if you know Goat, C Denim, all of them. They was from the Germantown area, so they were real big. They were the break dancers that was like in 923 that I used to be with, and the DJ and all of them. And they just did a reunion, and I'm like, yo, man, like that culture of what our generation was brought up in, but then you see so many different other generations and just talking about like just Philly. It's just Philly stuff that kind of breeded our hustle because they still doing it. They still creating those spaces and trying to bring them back. So you talked about going through some adversity growing up. How did like going through the different adversities or traumas for you really like push you to get into the game to just do the different things that you're doing?
Well, I think it first started off with me just wanting to keep busy and keep my mind off of things. So I always put my hands in different pots. And then as I got older and hustling changed, I seen how I can monetize off of things. And anything I did was always around dealing with people. Anybody looking, all the hustles I did, it was always centered around dealing with people. So whether I wrote a book, whether I open up a hair store, I'm a people person. So I like to interact with people. I like to give people my vibe, give them my energy. When it's up and it's A1, I love to give people that vibe and energy. And I love to give back. I'm a person that gives back from my own muscle. I wasn't too big on, because I never trusted a lot of fundraisers and things like that. So when I gave back, it was mostly out of my pocket. And from my muscle or from help from my friends and supporters. So any hustle I do is going to always be about people, helping people. That's what I like to do.
So what was your first job?
My first job, junior counselor at Youth Works, 33 Diamond Street at the playground.
Okay.
Like 14 years old, making that $5, 25 cents an hour.
So kids always been a part of the mission.
Yeah, because I didn't feel like I got a chance to embrace my childhood the way I wanted to. So I always have a special attachment with dealing with kids and giving back. And that's why my recent book, I Matter, is centered around just giving positive affirmations to kids, speaking goodness in them, because I know that's something that I needed when I was younger.
And that's what I love about Philly is like we create things that was missing when we was growing up. Part of our hustle is like to replace the void of the things that we didn't have. And Youth Works was a really big pivotal thing in Philly, giving young people a job at early age. We couldn't wait till we got those working papers because out of any job in the city, that was the first job that you would get is working at Youth Works, working with kids, and they put us in different positions, but it always opened doors because it was like something pivotal that you could put on your resume to say that you did as a young person. So that continued to be a part of your hustle. So outside of working with the kids, what was like your first hustle that you came up with?
My first hustle I came up with, honestly, it was the children's book. That was like my first initial bust out the door. After I came back from Afghanistan and seeing all that, I was writing a lot when I was in Afghanistan. And so I decided to write a book called Alphabet Dreams, and it just went through the alphabet of different things kids can be using the letters of the alphabet. And then after that, I experienced some depression and some trauma, and I came out with my book, She's Ill, talking about my journey and experience with mental health. Because at one point in time, my life got a little crazy, and I got off track to the point that I had wanted to, commit suicide. And I was unsuccessful, so that was, I guess, God, telling me that it wasn't my time to go. So the book was when I first started, like, opening up about things that I had bottled up about my past. And just giving people an insight and not to be ashamed if you notice that you have issues and problems within yourself that don't make you a bad person. And it's okay not to be okay, but, try to get the help when it's needed. Back then I didn't feel like there was a lot of resources and help that it is there today. And so I just try to be that branch between people who's trying to figure out what's going on within themselves. If they need to go to therapy, if they need help, if they need a shoulder to talk to. So I let people know on Instagram when I see, people post certain things. I'm here, whether I'm going through my own problems and stuff like that. I'm still here, a person that's not going to judge you and look at you differently.
Who helped you with creating these books?
Somebody named Odessa.
Okay.
She gave me the confidence and motivation that I can write the books. And English was not my
Yeah.
That wasn't my class. That was a class I slept in a lot. I used to be a person to mess up on the dares and the dare and the two and the two. So I never looked at myself as I can really be an author. And that's a definitely publishing company, black owned.
Okay.
She made me feel like I can do anything I put my mind to, and I appreciate her for that. So under her direction, I got 2 books done under her.
And I like that you highlighted that part of not, English not being a thing, writing and reading and all of that not being a thing, but still being an avenue for you to be able to share your story and share your testimony. Because part of what I do at Sister with Agenda is giving exposure to the kids. Because sometimes we had this limited belief or we have these limited thinkings of what careers we can go into and which ways we can move and which ways we can hustle. But sometimes it's having the right support around you to be able to fill your cup up and give you the confidence and give you the tools to be able to navigate, and for that to be that first hustle with so much adversity that would kind of stop you. Because that's my issue right now with it writing. It's like, and my girlfriend keeps telling me, well, you could do a voice recording and this and that and the third. So I'm just like, trying to get out there thinking that I can't write a book. Like, anything is possible. Anything is possible. It's just,
You just gotta write, and you gotta start, and you gotta stop limiting ourselves. I might have not been good at English then, but I turned out, got 2 books under me, and wound up being a substitute teacher for ELA, English Language and Arts, for my old elementary school, Blaine. I was there substituting, 5th graders. So when you put your mind in, you might not have been good at something once upon a time. When you put the work and you try and you read and you understand, you don't know what can come out of that. So it's not all about how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, most definitely. Education is definitely the avenue, because, like I said, I'm trying to get into this multiple streams of income. So this is me trying to get some knowledge on, exposure, because I'm so good at talking. That's my name. I talk. So everything I do is around talking, but then I'm like, okay, I can open up my lane to other things if I'm willing to educate myself on that experience. So that's definitely pivotal. So talk about your village. What was your village like growing up to kind of shape you into the person that you was? Because I think growing up in Philly, our family is not always our blood, but it's also who we pick up along the way that we can trust and we can find loyalty with.
You're right about that. My family, was not my village growing up. I felt a little outcast, a little different from my family. As I grew up, my needs and wants. So my family became the military when I signed up. I signed up for the military when I was 15. And that became my family. Or, friends that I had like Charlene, Ikea, childhood friends, Keisha, Kiva, and their moms. They became like, outside people became my village. And going to school. And I'll put it like this, going to school, Roxborough High School, I will say this, I went through a lot of my struggles and trauma during that time period, and just being in school and being around the people I was at Roxborough High School, they don't even know how much, they saved my life to the point I was able to, go in the military and leave, just being around them. And I always loved to make people laugh, because that was a defense mechanism for the pain that I was going through. And making people laugh made me feel good. And when you in this world, you want to feel like you contributing to something, somebody's joy, helping someone, and that's what keeps me going. Helping people, making people laugh, that's what keeps me going. Because I don't be never seeing the things that people see in me until after the fact. But when I'm able to, be there for somebody and help somebody, it makes me feel, good.
So when we talked earlier, our post interview, you was talking about uplifting mental health, and that's part of your new journey. So talk about what are you doing with mental health, and why is that an important focus for you?
Well, I was doing mental health advocacy and I stopped. It's important because I didn't acknowledge that I had mental health issues because of how society used to look down on it. And then I had to take a step back, like, man, I'm a homeowner, I work for this country, I done saved 2 people's lives, I wrote books, I opened up businesses. I don't have to limit myself because I have PTSD or major depressive disorder. And there's a lot of people that's hurting out here that don't get the treatment, whether it's medication, whether it's talking to somebody, or whether it's simply just acknowledging, I have a problem. Let me find out, my triggers. I want people just to be more comfortable with who they am. So I'm working on opening up a nonprofit organization behind my book, She's Ill. And it's going to be called the Ill Organization, and Ill is going to stand for individuality lasts longer. People need to fall in love with themselves. I needed to fall in love with myself, and I'm still, battling that here today. I don't want nobody to ever look at me and feel like I got it all together. It is a struggle every day, but it's a struggle that I'm openly willing to deal with more, and I have a better support system with the, people I have in my life now, like the Y nieces here have this salon. I have my friend Chuck that's, over here. I have my brother and sister, they hold me down as far as just like, family wise, my nephews and things like that. And, people that I deal with on an everyday basis that just speak good into me because they know what type of person that I am. Because sometimes I need to be reminded of that. And everybody needs to be reminded of that sometimes to keep pushing and keep going through,
I had to have a moment with myself the other day, and like I said, Daddy don't lie, and sometimes we don't see all of the things that we actually did as a good person, because your testimony and your track record is long, sis. Look, they'll be saying this dating back to 14, and now knowing that, like I said, the books being the first start, but just being a space to a legacy to continue to go back and a resource and the mission behind the book. How can people find your books?
You can find it on Amazon, or you can purchase through me. I'll be creating a link, hopefully it'll be done by February, where you can purchase directly from me, but it is on Amazon for sale. I'm going to be doing some pop-up shops moving forward. I wanted to start 2023 doing my thing, but I wanted to make sure I gave my all into Max's Cheesesteak because someone gave me an opportunity that, that trusted me and gave me an opportunity to do this. So I want to make sure I put my best foot forward in this. And that's one thing I do want to say. When we're exploring these multiple hustles, one, we got to make sure we're passionate about what we're doing because it'll never seem like a job.
Yeah.
And then two, we got to make sure we put in 150% in. Sometimes we spread ourselves too thin, trying to put our hands in multiple pots, and that's where I got caught up at. I put my hands in multiple pots, or just getting help that we need. A part of being a boss is knowing how to delegate responsibility and knowing how to set up your leadership chain so you don't have to be multiple places at once. And so I'm starting to, figure that out, and time management is everything.
Yeah, I like that. I like highlighting that point because I just think that that's something that we have to hold our community accountable as Black businesses so that we can continue to thrive. It's like that leadership, that management, that customer service.
The hunger can't be there the first 6 months. It got to be there. Like, this don't seem like a job to me. And whether we have a good week, a bad week here, I'm never discouraged. Because I just look at the end goal and I trust and believe in my vision. And if things don't work out the way that I wanted to work out, you move on, or you recreate and you become innovative. So it's just like, if it's your passion, it's never going to hurt you if it's your passion and you're giving 150%.
So talk about, let's get into how did you get to be the manager and reopen this space over here? Because probably most of us in the city of Philadelphia have been at Chuck Alibi. You didn't get something to eat. You've been to Max's Cheesesteak. You've been to the club in the back, and the parties in the back. So talk about like your experience here, just as a customer or coming to the club, and then how did you get into managing and taking over?
Well, I was a customer, and I always walked past this spot, and then one day I just looked at it like, using this for storage, and I just was like, yo, let me get this. And he was just like, you serious? And then we just started talking. Conversations kept picking up more and more and more, and then boom, we made it happen November 25th. And it was just me asking, and I guess he seen my persistence with like asking in one, and I felt like it was a good stepping stone. I know he had plenty of other people that was highly qualified to do this, and the fact that he gave me an opportunity, I'm very, appreciative of that. And I can't say this, I wouldn't have never even felt comfortable in this position without the start of me working at the tab.
Okay.
So I definitely have to
Shout out to the tab.
I have to give the tab, Boog and Tony, a shout out because I started working there, and when you work in that environment, your head start to turn because there's so many different things that you can do in this industry. And so if it wasn't for that experience there, I wouldn't even felt like I had a little comfortability with even trying this. So I do definitely want to give props to them because they got the engine going. Being a door person, sometimes bartending, sometimes hookah, being a bar back, I got a little bit of experience and a taste of the nightlife now. It ain't good on my bones and being out 2 Sunday in the morning. It ain't good on my bones, but it definitely opened up a lot of doors.
Yeah, and that's crazy because somebody was just talking about the experience of when you working somewhere and you're preparing yourself for what's to come next. So when you was at the tab, did you ever think that this was going to be the next lane?
No, not at all. Nightlife was never my thing. I like to be the participant, the customer in nightlife.
Right.
I wanted to be the drunk patron, having fun, had a section and turning up, and that's what a lot of people really know me for. They don't know me for managing in the bar, but you don't ever know what you can do until you put your mind to it.
But it prepared you because, like you said, you worked the different parts.
I worked at different parts, and I was able, and just being around them, I was just able to see what it takes to be and how to balance and knowing your strong people and your weak people. So I definitely learned a lot, and just even coming here and seeing how Dave and Tasha, how they go about running this here and Spikes. I had a close view of how things was ran, so you just learn. And of course I'm making mistakes along the way, but I'm getting right back up and I'm correcting them and I'm noticing them and I know what to do moving forward so that won't be a continuous mistake. So it's all been good, it's all been positive.
So let's we don't want to skip the hair salon and the mobile hair salon. So how did that all come about, and then how did the transition into the mobile salon come about?
I came home from Afghanistan. I was bored, and my friend needed some help at her salon, and I said, I'll help. And then I'm in there, I'm interacting, it's going well, and I'm just like, man, this is a $1 billion business. What can I do that I don't have to do nobody here and make money? And one day I went to bed and I honestly woke up January in 2017 and said I'm opening up a hair store. And that's what I did.
What?
Well, 2018. I woke up January in 2018 and said I'm opening up a hair store, and 6 months later I did it.
So where did you get that business lens from? Because I feel like in every avenue and in every space, it was like, okay, I see an opportunity and I can flip this into a business. Because going into business for yourself can be scary.
It's scary, it's hard, but it's also fun because you're pushing yourself. And I push myself in the military, I push my body to different type of limits and things like that. A lot of people know that I'm African. I'm half Liberian, and my father and my uncle had the Omni on 57th and Woodland in Southwest. It was a club, but it was like a 3-story. People had weddings there, clubs, after hours. So I grew up in that. By the time I became of age, I didn't think they didn't have it anymore, but I used to sweep up in there, clean up. I got my first taste of nightlife. I never knew that was going to come full circle and me being back. Like I'm about to turn 38 years old, so I didn't know I was going to be doing this. But it's intriguing. It's intriguing space to be in. But I always been around it. I just never paid attention to it. And the best thing about the nightlife is when you get those good reviews from the customers, like Cheesesteak was good, the drink was good, customer service was good, oh, it's such a vibe and stuff like that. And knowing like I'm not the most popular person in Philadelphia. Oh, I'm known. People know about me, but I'm not popular. So when I have people really come out their way to come support me from out of town and in a city that don't come out, that feels good to me versus like the everyday crowd that everybody see all the time. When I got people that make it their business to come out and show me love, that don't even do the nightlife or don't even like to really come out, that's when that's what makes me feel good.
Yeah, well, I commend you. Because like I said, just watching you, and I always like to get the backstory because nobody ever understands the hustle behind why we hustle. But like you said, growing up in a space of business, even though you think you might have not have been paying attention, you definitely was paying attention. Because I can see that's just a part of you. Like you sit back, you watch, and then you activate.
Yeah. And I want people also to understand, there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. I still have a 9 to 5. I'm on the corporate side of things, but I love what I do. You know, I graduated, I wanted to utilize my degree, and my 9 to 5 helps me to be able to elevate and network, and it also helps me to be a better person at business. So you got to do what works for you. Entrepreneurship, you got to do it when it's ready, not when people tell you when it's ready, not because you see a bunch of money in your account and you like, I got to do something. We always want to answer to somebody.
Yeah.
Whether it's ourselves, Uncle Sam, we always want to answer to somebody. You gotta make your life work the way you need to work. And I love my 9 to 5. I absolutely do. And I love hustling and being entrepreneurship. Yeah, I'm trying to put myself in a position where I don't, I can leave everything, but I wake up every day not dreading to go to work, not dreading to come into the bar. And I'll take that over anything because there's a lot of people that wake up with businesses and things that dread getting there. And I don't dread it.
So is your mobile salon, hair, beauty store, all of this is still open?
Closed down. So the demographics of where I opened up the hair store wasn't good for me. And that was a learning trial. The mobile store, I kind of shut that down because I couldn't find workers. I didn't want to continue to be the driver. I drove it for the first year, but it was limited to me. Like I said, I need to be able to be in multiple places at multiple times. But I am working on seeing to bringing it back and creating the online service. So we'll see. You might see Beyond Beauty Mobile. It ain't died. I just had to take a pause. Everybody don't want to work now. Everybody's a boss. Everybody a boss. So I can't knock it. That was like the monkey wrench that was thrown in that. But I'm a solutionist. Yeah. I don't cry. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to find a way to work and make it work for me. So if I had to go online or set up like a Uber here, if I have to do that and tap into that, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I try. Yeah, you got to be innovative. You got to be creative.
Okay.
So somebody hit me up. If y'all know how to make an app and we can do this Uber here, we can get it popping.
I might know somebody. Listen, that's what I do. I'm the culture connection. So I know some people that make some apps, so I'll definitely send them your way. Because that's the whole goal, is to connect and promote and advertise. So
and work with people. Work with people. Everybody is not your competition.
Yep.
You have to work with people to grow, to understand, to learn business. I'm never intimidated, never scared to collab or work with another person. Because it might be something I might can learn and it might can elevate my hustle. Nobody in the city, no matter what you got in your account, what you do, will intimidate me. I'm either going to learn from you or I'm not going to learn from you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Collaboration over everything. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Bring back the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. That's the whole beauty of the Culture Podcast, is getting us out there, letting y'all know what's happening in the city. Those who are, using their hustle and their upbringing and flipping it and creating culture for our city. So thank you for being the person that saw this as a storage spot and then bringing it back, because you brought back culture. Like I said, you brought back life to this spot because it was a little dead for a minute.
Yeah.
So
and we still have our day and night, so we building it up, and I got a great team that trusts my vision, and that's all it's about. And we gonna keep it going. So we're open 7 days a week. Y'all come check us out. I have Tasha, Rel, Nicole, myself, Shantae 2 times, that's behind the marketing. and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
yep. Shout out
So,
to 2 times of service. So if you're looking for a PR person, definitely shout out Shantae. And then, I love when I walk into somewhere, y'all know, if I see any of my students, my grad students in the back cooking up a cheesesteak. So that's always a blessing when I can walk into a space and see the next generation.
and yes, one thing I can say about this place, no matter if you're getting food on this side or you're getting food on the restaurant side, the food tastes the same, it's good, no matter who put their hands on it. I always get good reviews about that. So whether you're going to the club, whether you're at the restaurant, or whether you're here at Max Cheesesteak, you're going to get A1 service straight across the board.
All right, so let them know how to connect with you. I also want to shout you out and thank you for signing up to come speak at Shoemaker. Coming to pave the way for the youth, because definitely think they will benefit, hearing your testimony, talking about what you do, your different experiences.
So you was behind that. Oh, okay.
So I'm not behind it. That's not my department. But like I told them, Sisters with Agenda is here to push them inside the building. Yes. So shout out to the Sisters with Agenda Village for coming through. But I definitely saw your name on the list. So I was like, all right, shout out to the village. Shout out to the village for showing up for the youth so they can just see how to navigate different spaces and different opportunities. Because this was an opportunity that you saw this
And you
coming
go
in.
for it. And closed mouths don't get fed. So I do want to make 2 more shout outs. I want to shout out, Kaya for having my back, making sure that, I was in the right mental space to receive these opportunities. Big shout out to Dave and for giving me this opportunity. I can't say it enough because he had plenty of people and he had way better options. But people know that.
It's for you.
Yeah, what's for you ain't gonna miss you.
Yeah.
And I'm sturdy in a lot of areas. And Max's Cheesesteak Northeast. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Ash_215_ 7301 Oxford Avenue. We're open 7 days a week. We give you all different types of vibes. You got 3 different spaces. Give you all different types of vibes. I got them intimate, but we still turn up. We have the restaurant and lounge. And then if you want a club and listen to the trap music, it's right back there. So we're in the city, or you want to get 3 different vibes under one building. Nowhere. 7301 Oxford. Pick your poison.
Yep. So we definitely about to get this cheesesteak, and I want to thank you for inviting us to the establishment because we had to come in and catch the vibe, let y'all catch the vibe.
She tried to have me come to her. I was like, how you want to talk about Max Cheesesteak and don't come to Max Cheesesteak?
Listen, that's the beauty of it. So I've been telling y'all, if y'all want us to come to your location, make sure y'all tap in because we want to promote and advertise. That's the whole goal. That's the whole mission behind what we doing. So I appreciate you for having the Philly Culture Podcast. Let them know anything else you want to let them know before we go.
Treat people good. You never know what people is going through, and don't try to monetize off of information. If you got information that's gonna help somebody, whether it's in your lane or not, give that. You don't know when the blessings is gonna come back. I have got so many blessings in my life just about being nice and how I go about treating people, and it came back full circle. So I just tell y'all, treat people good. You never know who you talking to. You never know who you dealing with. And just because people ain't on Instagram flashy doesn't mean they ain't big dogs. You feel me? You don't never know when you talking to a big dog.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you for coming and sharing your testimony with us and come talk about the Philly culture. And then I just also wanted to say, this is the next generation keeping the legacy going. Because like you said, this could have definitely shut down and just been a storage space, but this was definitely something we wanted to keep the culture going here in the city of Philadelphia and creating spaces for people to get the different vibes. So make sure y'all come to Max's Cheesesteak Northeast, and y'all can check us out on our next episode on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in.